Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of the Democrat shutdown. You can see it's pretty empty around here. There's normally a lot of activity. On an average day, we have about 7,000 visitors here in the Capitol. School children and school groups and visitors and constituents, but they're not here right now. And around the country, all around the country right now, real pain is being endured by real people because the Democrats have decided to play politics. So Leader Thune and I wanted to come out and do 2 things today, just give you a brief update on where things stand with this Democrat shutdown, and then to reiterate once more, present the simple facts about what we're facing. This is necessary because the Democrats have a full-out assault to spin the facts and try to pretend as though they are not what they actually are. And some of the mainstream media are participating in this as well. I was giving our leadership press conference yesterday, and in mid-sentence, I was cut off by one of the networks, CNN. I hope you'll stay with us for a few more moments, because what I was about to say before they went to try to disclaim my remarks was I was about to point to the very page in Chuck Schumer's counter-proposal continuing resolution that proves the very fact that we've been stating. So let me go through that very quickly so everyone here has no question. And I want Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren and AOC and everybody else who's been trying to spin this truth to watch and try to refute what I'm about to show you.
Before we get into today's discussion, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Your support helps us continue bringing you clear, principled commentary on the issues that matter most to America's future.
Now here's a visual aid, okay? This is the bill. This is the counter-proposal continuing resolution that Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats filed. 2 weeks ago, mid-September, the House passed a clean, simple continuing resolution. It merely continues the Biden-era policies and spending that we're enduring right now for 7 more weeks to allow the appropriations process to continue. That's Republicans and Democrats in both chambers working together to get the government funded. We ran out of time because the end of the fiscal year is September 30th. We needed a few more weeks, so we sent it over. Ours is 24 pages in length. It says, let's just keep the status quo so this process, this procedure, this regular order can be done. Chuck Schumer rejected that. Senate Democrats rejected that. Now 3 times they voted against that measure, and this is what they propose in advance, in exchange for that. So instead, the counterproposal, this is page 57. This is on our website. Go to speaker.gov. You can get all these visual aids for yourself, all right? Page 57, section 2141. You see the highlighted language. There's a lot of legalese in this legislation, in these bills, but it says that they want to repeal the health subtitle changes. What does that refer to? You read down here, Public Law 119-21. That's the one big, beautiful bill. That's the American Families Tax Cut. What they want to do is repeal the very important and necessary changes that Republicans voted to put into law. President Trump signed that into law on July 4th, triumphantly on Independence Day. It was a great marquee achievement for lots of reasons. But some of the most important provisions in that law was that it eliminated fraud and abuse of our health system. Medicaid has been rife with fraud and abuse, and so we reformed it. Why? To help provide more and better health services for the American people. Because the problem with Medicaid is it's been abused. We had so many people on Medicaid that never were intended to be there. Medicaid was written for the people who need it most, the elderly, the disabled, sometimes young pregnant women who are in difficult situations. But the resources are being drained. You know why? Because there was 2 primary categories of people that should never have been there in the first place. One was able-bodied young men who are riding the wagon who should be working. We got them back to work. And the other thing that we focused on was the illegal aliens. By the CBO's estimate, about 1.4 million illegal aliens were receiving Medicaid benefits that were intended only for U.S. citizens that met the categories I just described. They were gaming the system. They were cheating the system. And what that means is that less resources were available for the people, the Americans who actually needed it most. So we did the common sense thing, the right thing, the just thing, and we put it in the law, and the president signed that, gladly signed it into law. They want to repeal it. They want to give those resources back to illegal aliens. That's exactly what that highlighted language means. On this exhibit number 2 over here, I feel like I'm back in court. Exhibit number 2, okay? This is the specifics of what that would mean. When we say they want to give $200 billion back to illegal aliens, these are the specifics. If you read the legalese here and the language in the bill on page 57 and what follows, that's what it's talking about. These are all the various provisions in the chart over here. Those are listed in millions. So you see the final total there, $192.8 billion of your hard-earned taxpayer dollars that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats want to give back to illegal aliens. That's a fact, and nobody can refute it.
Now, let's talk about what we are seeing unfold. We are in the middle of another government shutdown, and while the political blame game is in full swing, it is important to cut through the noise and look at the facts. Right now, families across the country are feeling the impact. School groups are not visiting the Capitol, federal workers are in limbo, and average Americans are caught in the crossfire. The question is simple: who is responsible and what is at stake? Republicans in the House put forward a straightforward, 24-page continuing resolution. It did not add new policies, it did not push partisan demands, it simply said, let us extend the current Biden-era spending levels for 7 more weeks so we can finish the appropriations process responsibly. That was the practical approach. It kept the government open and gave Congress time to do its job. Democrats rejected this resolution not once, not twice, but 3 separate times. Instead of accepting a clean extension, they introduced a counterproposal that reveals where their priorities truly lie. On page 57 of that proposal, Democrats included language to roll back reforms made during President Trump's administration, reforms that were designed to stop fraud and abuse in Medicaid. Those reforms were not abstract policy tweaks, they targeted very real problems. For years, Medicaid has been exploited by people it was never intended to cover. This includes able-bodied young men who could and should be working, as well as illegal immigrants who are not citizens and who were never meant to receive taxpayer-funded benefits. By reforming Medicaid, Republicans helped protect resources for the elderly, the disabled, and pregnant women in difficult circumstances, the very people the program was designed to serve. According to the Congressional Budget Office, more than 1 million illegal immigrants had been receiving Medicaid benefits before these reforms. That is taxpayer money being drained away from Americans in need. These common-sense changes were not only right, they were necessary. Yet now Democrats are seeking to undo them. Their proposal would effectively redirect almost $200 billion of taxpayer money back toward those same groups, including illegal immigrants, at the expense of American citizens who depend on Medicaid for essential care. This is not a small policy disagreement. It strikes at the heart of what government is supposed to do: prioritize its own people. Here is where constructive criticism of the Democratic Party is warranted. Instead of working in good faith to keep the government open, they have tied a basic funding resolution to a deeply controversial rollback of reforms that protect American taxpayers. That decision reveals a pattern we have seen before: a willingness to hold the country hostage in order to advance an ideological agenda. It also shows a troubling preference for policies that prioritize non-citizens over citizens, a choice that many Americans find deeply unfair. This is not about demonizing Democrats for the sake of opposition. It is about asking serious questions. Why should nearly $200 billion of taxpayer money be funneled back into benefits for people who broke the law to enter this country? Why should working families shoulder the burden while illegal immigrants receive government-funded health care? And why is the Democratic leadership more interested in political gamesmanship than in simply keeping the government open? The American people deserve honesty. They deserve leaders who will protect their hard-earned money and ensure that government programs serve the citizens they were designed to serve. At the end of the day, this is not just a debate about Medicaid or shutdown politics. It is about whether Washington is working for the American people or against them. If you believe government should put citizens first, if you believe in fiscal responsibility, and if you want to see policies rooted in fairness and common sense, then stand with us. Make sure you are subscribed, share this video with friends, and keep speaking up. Because the more we expose these contradictions, the harder it becomes for politicians to hide behind rhetoric. Together, we can hold Washington accountable and keep the focus where it belongs, on the American people.